This is RTP. This is RTP180.
Hello. Be wary when someone asks you for a picture of what it's going to be used for. They said a fun picture. It looked fun. All right, so I am from City of Raleigh, and my group's responsible for reporting and analytics inside the city and also outside the city, so what we provide on our open data site. And I'm going to talk a little bit about our population stakeholders and just use one example. So we have very different people that use our open data site. We have citizens that use it to answer the questions about their neighborhoods. We have businesses that use it looking for potential customers. So for example, we had a pool company who looked up all the pool permits in the last year looking for prospective customers for their pool cleaning. And then we have the government itself. We use the data as well. And while we all use population data, we all kind of use it in a different way. So the scenario that I'm going to talk about today has to do with our CACs, and that's our Citizen Advisory Councils. So neighborhoods are broken out into these CACs, and you have elected members that sort of represent their area in working with the city. And when they're talking about the population data of their neighborhoods, it's more on feel than fact, right? So they live there, they attend meetings there, they see who shows up for the meeting, but do they really understand what actually makes up, according to census data or Esri census data, what makes up their neighborhood? So we are working on this report. Now, this is a prototype, so don't go looking for it on the website because it's not there yet. But we're working on this report to show them kind of how the data sets up for their CAC, but also how they relate to other CACs. And we do it in two ways. So the first thing we do is we look at, in total, for all of the CACs, we can look at information by education, by gender, by housing units, which basically means owner-occupied. And then we can look at race and ethnicity. And you'll be able to pick one CAC to look at that CAC's information, or you can look at multiple CACs together. And then we have these additional buttons at the bottom here that allow you to get into a little bit more detail. And really this is all driven for the CACs to really understand their area, and also for the city as well. So sometimes we make choices about the programs we're gonna offer in areas, or we make choices about how we organize the CACs. So sometimes we collapse and expand them as well based on the population data. And this particular data set is coming from the free Esri population data. So we take a look at this one. It might be a little hard to see from the back, but what this is showing you is average home value, so that's on that side, and at the bottom is average household income, and then we can see all the neighborhoods compared to each other. Now, I don't know about you, but I think I want to live all the way to the right, right? So we got the highest income and the highest home values, and then if we look all the way to the left, we can kind of see where some of the other communities lie. So this is something that they were never able to see before. They would have just had sort of a thought and feeling about their area, but really couldn't see how they compare to other organizations or other CACs. One of the other tabs is looking at the breakdown of all of the CACs based on owner-occupied housing units, and this makes a big difference in looking at programs for low-income housing and who represents that area. So we can see here by CAC, the ones that have green, those are the owner-occupied, and the dark blue is rental. So if we look at North Central, for example, they have a really high rental community. And it's important to understand that when you're organizing programs or when the CAC is making decisions. And this last one is crime. So crime is the #1 data set that we get questions on from the open data portal. It's crime and building permits are the most popular. But they want to look at the crime in their areas, so we can look at number of crimes, and then we can also look at the crime data to a very specific crime category. And we can look at that in conjunction with all of the demographic and population data. So really it's about combining and making this picture in a way that the citizens can use it, so that it isn't just a row columns of data that they have to go and figure out, but really tell a story. And what we do internally for the city and what we're starting to do for our open data program is really focus on data visualization and narrative. So instead of just putting out data sets, we're also adding to that a visualization and the story that goes along with it, so that you get a complete picture and not just a data set.